New York City inches towards congestion pricing, and details on its costs emerge. Debate on the plan heating up.
Critics say the cost to drivers way too high. Advocates argue congestion pricing is critical for mass transit funding and for reducing traffic. Joining us this morning, Lisa Daglian. She's executive director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee. Lisa, nice to have you here. What does this committee do?
So we represent the riders. We're the voice of riders to the MTA. Representing riders on New York City subways, buses, Metro North, the Long Island Railroad, and Staten Island Rail.
Okay.
And we have 3 non-voting seats on the MTA board. So our voices are heard, not just advocating on to whoever will listen to us, but also at the MTA board level.
All right. So why do you think congestion pricing would be good for the city?
So congestion pricing will bring in $15 billion to help transit now and into the future. It'll help to buy new rail cars, new signals. Whenever you hear we're delayed because of signals, the signals are old, they're antiquated. The subway system is over 100 years old. We need to build it and rebuild it. That's where this money's going to go.
So when we're talking about, what this money is going to do, also, I know that you're saying that this will increase ridership, 1 to 2%. So when people hear that, it's not a lot. Would there be other ways to increase ridership, say, cleaning up the subway, making it feel a little bit safer? Can you do it that way without having to implement the congestion pricing?
Well, I think that everything goes together. 1 to 2% is incremental, but every increment helps. That's just the beginning. As people start to get back on board, they get more comfortable. We've seen increases in ridership. Just even over the last few months, we've seen increases in tunnel and bridge traffic well over 100% of what it was.
Well, because people don't feel safe.
Yeah, but people want to go out though, right? So on Metro North, on weekends, there has been over 100% of pre-pandemic levels on
But also,
trains.
People don't want to go broke. It's kind of surprising when you say $9 to $23. Where did we come up with this $9 to $23? Could have been cheaper, where you're like, hey, let's get it a little bit higher so they're less likely to drive into the city. Like, how do you come up with that number? Because it's going to hurt people's wallets.
So the MTA worked with local other transportation agencies to look at modeling and to look at how much what it would take to come up with the $1 billion a year that's in the state legislation that was passed with congestion pricing, because it is a state law that this moved forward. So now it's a question of how to make that happen.
You know what I don't understand? They're saying, well, congestion pricing will deter people from riding their cars into New York City. Okay, well, does that defeat the purpose of congestion pricing? How are you going to raise $1 billion if people aren't driving into that area?
That's a great question, and I think that the MTA is looking at different ways to manage how the money is raised. So this first step is an opportunity for people to weigh in. The MTA's public comment period starts on the 25th of October, and of August next week, and goes for a week. And people should tell the MTA and the FHWA, the feds, what they think.
If I thought that the MTA was really going to put to use $1 billion, they've gotten a few billion from the feds over the last few years, and it hasn't really changed anything.
Well, it's actually kept a lot of things going. It's kept fares where they need to be. We would have been facing triple the fares and half the service. So what we've seen that federal money do is keep the system going for people like me, for people like you, for the essential workers.
But you need billions and billions of dollars. We're not talking one bill.
I know.
We're talking billions.
Right. So this is $1 billion that will turn into $15 billion. So I just want to say, on Wednesday, I was watching in your Instapoll show that 85% of people were opposed to congestion pricing. What's really interesting about that number is that 85% of people who come into the Central Business District take transit. So the majority of people who come in won't be affected by the tolls, but they will benefit. And even people who drive into the Central Business District will benefit because there'll be less traffic. So it's a win-win.
I have a question. This is for some people that I saw on Twitter that were motorcycle bike riders. And they kind of broke down the report, and it was showing that bike riders were going to be charged the same amount as a sedan, which to me was pretty Pretty surprising, considering that someone that would choose to ride a bike so that they have less emissions, making the environment a little bit better, would be charged the same amount as a vehicle.
So there were 7 different scenarios that were released when the environmental assessment was released, and under some of them, motorcycles would ride for would be exempt, or they would ride for 1 charge a day, same as cars. So and electric vehicles aren't in there either. Mm-hmm. There is an opportunity to tweak, and for the Traffic Mobility Review Board, which is the group that's actually going to set these prices, to make changes to it,
okay.
And to decide what's right, as long as it comes to $1 billion. Nothing is set in stone, which is why people like us, riders who are going to benefit, the whole region benefits from a vibrant and vital transit system.
Absolutely. And, London has done congestion pricing, and obviously the jury's out on that, whether it really works, correct?
But Singapore, Milan, Stockholm have had very successful models of congestion pricing.
I think a lot of people are concerned about the carve-outs. Like, who's going to be exempt from this?
Oh, yeah.
And then who pays?
Right. That's a big deal.
That is really a problem.
Yeah, that is a real problem, and we've been saying limited exemptions. So everybody wants to ride a motorcycle, or not everybody, but people who want to ride a motorcycle feel that they should have an exemption. There are a lot of people who feel that there are exemptions. There are some exemptions in the law, so those will go forward. People transporting others with disabilities, emergency vehicles, and people who live within the district will, on making under $60,000 a year, get tax credits. But the more exemptions...
Wait, somebody that lives on Park Avenue in the 60s makes under $60,000. I'd like to know how they can
afford to live here.
Yeah,
well, they have to live
that's
below
a good
60th
one.
Street.
Oh, below 60, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know where you can find that in New York City. But anyway, Lisa, where can people go to voice their opinion and get more information?
Right. They should go to the MTA's website. I always Google it, MTA congestion pricing hearings, and then you can either file something with them, or you can go on to, you can register to speak at one of their meetings.
Oh,
okay.
Maybe we should think about that.
Right. But just remember, the more exemptions, the higher the tolls. And the MTA needs the $15 billion for more accessibility projects, better signals, to really make the transit system of the 21st century. It's going to benefit Long Island. It's going to benefit Metro North Territory. It's going to benefit everybody who rides subways and buses.
We hope so.
It's going to benefit drivers. People who ride buses are going to go faster.
Okay, we'll see.
It's going to be really a benefit, and I think you're going to like it.
We like hearing your side of things. I think it's good. I think it gives us all something to digest. So we appreciate you coming here.
I appreciate you coming. I appreciate your thinking about it.